Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I think I'm live. For some reason. Yes. This is how it should be looking. There we go. That's going there. There. And last but not least, this one. Oops. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. This is David for Elizabeth Craft Designs. Welcome to Coffee and Craft. I'm not seeing anybody yet. Oh, yes, there we go. Hi, Yanni. Hi, Femke. Oh, and Facebook is coming in as well. Hi, Anki. Whew. I had a bit of a weird hiccup, so I was like, oh, what's going on? But it's working. Well, it's a good thing I've got my cup of tea here, all ready to go in my Elizabeth Craft Designs mug. I've got some little fun things prepared. We're just gonna play a bit. Well, I've got a stray golf ball here from yesterday. Hi, Diane. Good morning. Hi, Dimfna. Hi, Ann. Hi, Nons. Hi, Anja. Hi, Sylvia. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Anja. Coffee, craft, and David. Good combo. Well, thank you, my friend. I've got a cup of tea, actually, because I've already had too much coffee today. Hi, Annie. Hi, Femke. Hi, Clementine. Fran is here. Vanessa, good to see you. Hi, Nicola. Hi, Elaine. So, yeah, we are going to have some fun. So, yeah. Oh, you just got home from work, Miriam. Just in time for the fun. Hi, Joe. Hi, Valerie. So, yeah, it's just a bit of fun today. I'm not having anything particular. Well, yeah, I'm going to make something, obviously. This is too big. Let me just do it like that. So, yeah, now I can see properly. Hi, Elaine. South Australia. So it's good evening or good night. Elaine says it's... Elaine says it's South Australia here. I'm just doing the math. I think it's evening, right? Hi, Patricia. Hi, Jane. Lots of people that were there yesterday and joined me again. Thank you for that. Not being fed up with me. But I've got my big cup of tea now. Let me take a sip. I'm not going to work with brushes, am I? No, because I will dip my brush in there for sure. Nice cup of tea. Right. So I'm just going to have a bit of a play. I've got something prepared. I'm going to get a bit messy. And I think it was Diane Prince, who said yesterday, when I asked what should I do today, she said, well, it's distressed glazes. So I'm going to do that. Hi, Chris. Hi, Anja. Hi, Catherine. So, yeah, that's... Well, that doesn't work with the computer, Femke, because the computer had a hiccup, not me. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. 11:30, Elaine, in South Australia. Good. Right. What am I going to do? I'm going to make some ATCs, because I was thinking, it's only 30 minutes. What am I going to make in 30 minutes? A full journal spread is already a challenge in an hour, so let alone in 30 minutes. But then I thought, ATCs, they're always fun. I think they're always fun. So let's switch the cameras around and see what I can do there. Put that one in. Hello, you can see me. Yeah. So I've got my ATC cards ready to go. But I will do something, something fun, I think. Oh, my last piece. This is very thick mixed media paper. I love this stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to do some ink smooshing first. No problem, Femke. I thought you didn't, but I just thought it was funny. If I would give the computer a sip of water, we would be in trouble, right? Okay, ink smooshing. So, what I'm going to do. I've had these colors on my desk still from yesterday, and I thought, why reinvent the wheel? So... pink raspberry, and I happen to love the combination of pink raspberry and carved pumpkin with ink smooshing. But I am going to add a tiny bit of, vintage photo. Hi Fenna. Hi Jenny. Hi Saskia. Hey everybody. Good for you to join me. Yeah, just a bit of vintage photo. Ooh. Water. And I'm gonna spray my paper a bit, just so it flows a bit better. So I'm just gonna drag that through like so. This is like magic balls. I don't know if you know from the young days, toverballen, we called them in the Netherlands. They turn out different every single time. So this looks fun. So let's try that. Hi Sheila. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Martina. Yeah, I need to re-ink my vintage photo. So I like the drippies, so let's do that. This is just the first layer, but already I think this is a pretty background. Yeah, they are like candy almost. I agree, Sylvia. I agree. Okay, now I can already see I want a bit more pink up there, so let's just add a bit more pink to the mix. Breaking up the squares a bit, and do that. Just dump it in, drag it along. It does, Anya, it does. But it also disappears with the orange. But yes, I need to re-ink it. Definitely. Ooh, yes, this is pretty. Yes, try it. Hi Jane, good to see you. Good morning, Jeff and Lisa. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting. I'm actually not sure that is for this video as well, but thank you anyway. That's a good one. I will check that. Thank you, Hans. It does, doesn't it? This looks gorgeous. Now I'm going to clean this up. Sorry for the squeaky noise. I just might add in a bit more vintage photo. Just to give it a bit more grunge. Yes. There we go. Not much, but it's just giving it that. Sorry. Squeaky noise. This is Strathmore mixed media paper. Love that stuff. I need to buy a new one. I've got big packs, but I like the A5 format. It's easy to work with. You can easily cut an A4 in half, of course. Hi, Sally. Oh, thank you, Sally. That's so sweet. That's why we do it, right? To inspire and to give ideas. Right, I'm going to do some splattering, but you can see now there's some vintage photo in there. I love this area. Okay, so just do some splattering. Now these Ranger bottles, they're nice if you give them a full speed squash, you get a mist. But if you do it like this, you get droplets. So not pull it all the way, do it slowly, and you can really play with it that way. So let that sit for a second. I dropped one on my favorite bit, but I'm not going to be bothered with that because it's, yeah. Well, they are still on here, my mice, so that could be it. Just drying this a bit. And then I'm gonna put a clean piece of paper towel on top and get the moisture off. It's really growing on me. It's growing and growing. That's the fun with these kind of techniques. Just dropping it on there and drying it again. Now the difference is, before I dried a bit and then I took my paper towel and lifted the ink off. This time I'm just gonna dry it and you get a slightly different effect. Let me just dry this bit so you can see. It does, doesn't it, Katie? So you see, I did not lift the color off here, so you can still a bit of pigment and you get a darker edge around. So it's a different kind of splatter. So that's why I like to combine the two. It's nitty-gritty detail, but it's just fun. I think you get nice layers of different colors and shades, and here's another great example. Here it's still orange, here it's white. So I lifted the ink there. And you get more of a defined edge around it when you do it like this. Hi Astrid. Thank you, Anna. So this needs to be bone dry for the next things. So bear with me while this is dry. Ying. I think this is already a pretty background. You see the layers you get? Cool, right? Thank you, Chris. So, any questions for me? Anything you think, oh, now he's here and it's coffee and craft, or coffee and chat, whatever you want to call it. So, just chat. I'm here. Ask. While you are thinking of any questions, if you have any, I will just figure out this way. I'm going to ink up my script stamp from the laced stamp set. And I'm going to ink that up with Distress Archival ink. However, I'm not doing it on a block. I'm doing it with my hand. And I'm going to... Oh, hi, Valerie. I'm going to... freehand it as such. The pink ink was picked raspberries. So yesterday we had a gorgeous day here in the Netherlands. I was doing the garden in the afternoon. Or not doing the garden, I was working in the garden in the afternoon. And then even a lovely evening after the live. And today it's absolutely freezing. And raining. Pouring with rain, hard wind, yuck. So, why archival, Diane asks. Well, archival ink stamps in a different way. I think if you're creating backgrounds, archival inks are great. You get a bit more distinct stamping than with distress ink. But better, not as distinct as when you use... what's it called? Versifine, for instance. That's way sharper, etc. So I think for background techniques, this is better. Anki, the first next release. Guess who? That'll be me. That will be me. Yeah, I know, Hans, then it's going to be crazy again. So I'm just dabbing it on there, giving it some texture. I want this to blend in the background, but it's doing exactly that, giving it some texture. So Anki, that's going to be me. It's going to be a lovely, lovely release. So yes, Femke, that would be a yes. Femke's asking, is your release next? Yeah, we're still enjoying the mouses. So next I'm coming in with an older stencil, but I just love it. That is Journal Stencil 6. I need to crack on if I want to finish this. And I'm going to spread translucent texture paste over that. Not perfect. I can skip some bits if I want to. Yep. I will not say anything else, Femke. You will have to wait and see. No, Chris, it's way too early for sneaks. Else will kill me. No. But it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. 9th of July. So that's that, and then I'm just gonna do it like this a bit. Again, don't fuff too much, David, because it's not worth it. You can ruin it by fuffing too much. Not important to get the whole thing. There we go. This is going in a tub with water. Together with my spatula. It was hot, right? Right. Next, I'm going to do some fun with my distress glaze. I'm starting with Selfish Patina. Like that. Just dumping that on there. So So not everywhere, just in certain areas. So I'm using the... Come on. I'm always fighting with these lids. I'm using the paste, that's very sticky obviously, to grab on... Oops, no, wrong one. First I want some gold. I want hints of gold on there. So I'm just... This is Weathered Gold by Wow. Well, doing them over pastes like this is fantastic. Whether being that normal distressed paste, translucent ones, it's really fun. So I'm just doing some gold in certain areas, not all over. There we go. And now I can come in with this one. And cover the rest. I think I've got everything covered. You see that? So this needs to dry a bit. Oh, come on, you. Dum, 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 dum. Get the paste off my glass mat. So that can go in the bin. There we go. Yeah, translucent paste underneath and then sprinkle this on. And let that dry a bit, so that's what I'm going to be doing while I prepare the next bit. So I'm using the Torn set, that's 2210 Torn, and that I use that as a base for my ATCs. I need this die, and that's what I use for my ATCs, and there's this little flower in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just crinkling up this flower. Good luck, Valerie. All the best. So, wrinkle it up like that. And I'm going to do the same with this one. That's coming, Cheryl, that's coming. Hi, Marika. So, oh, blimey, time is flying. But I will make it. So this is scorched timber, and I will just go over this. This is just plain craft paper. And I'm just hitting that a bit to make it a bit more crunchy. So, get my glue, put that here, press that down, and then in the center, I'm gonna do some prills. Get my coffee filter out. Hello, Olivia, welcome. Cute little flower, right? These prills go everywhere, and they seem to grow because now they won't fit into the pot anymore. I've already prepared those because I knew it was going to be a bit tight time-wise. So that's them. Cool, right? I like that. So that's these 4 done. Now with this, I'm just going to show you what it's going to look like. I'm going to heat up my heat tool. I googled it and bought them wherever I could find them. And now I'm going to heat set this, melt the embossing powder. Now this will be a long time because underneath it's not completely dry yet. I don't mind that, but this officially is not heat resistant, the paste. So yeah, they say let it air dry. And you just go over your piece all the way like this to melt the embossing powder. Now I'm not going to do that with this because that takes a long time. So I'm going to put this to the side and I'll show you. I use this die because I prepared this bit. I use this die to cut elements out of that same paper. This is exactly the same as I did there, and this is what you get. When you dry it and melt the paste, you see that? And I did do it before it was completely dry, and because I love that effect. This to me is pure grunge and loveliness. So yeah, that's what I love, so that's what I did. If you want it more smooth, leave it dry completely, but it will take a while. It will take you up to an hour, and then do the whole melting process. You still have to melt the embossing powder. That's always the case, but not. It doesn't have to be completely dry to do that. You just get a more grungy, bubbly effect, less transparency, also. But I love how this looks. I know they're tiny pots and they're not cheap. They will last you forever. I was saying to Els the other day, we should have them at the ECD with the flower collection, but yeah, apparently that's not as easy. So I'm just inking the edges of my base cards that are cut with the same set. So that's a 2210 torn. And now it's just a matter of gluing everything together. So let's do that. So I'm going to grab this. Glue it on. And it's grab a flower. Put that on there. And then I've got a sentiment, which I need to ink. These sentiments are from one of my sentiment strips, journal phrases. I've lost track of the number. Sorry, should have looked that up. Dance as if no one is watching. I love that. So that's it. That's my first ATC done. So yeah, fun technique, really fun, grungy looking background. And I kept the rest quite simple because I want that background to shine. Thank you, Drama. There we go. Let me just speed glue this. There we go. So now we're just sort of doing it as a, how do you call that? Lopende band system. Just a system. Let that sit there. Let that sit there. So these ATC cards are coming with me to Banff, to the retreat. That's going to be fun. There we go. So then I've got these two. Be brave, darling. Dum, dum, dum. There we go. That's that. And then I've got Don't Grow Up, It's a Trap, and If Not Now, Then When. And that will finish my ATC cards. So that was it for today already. I hope you liked it. Coffee and craft together with me. Just a bit of fun. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I don't know when that is. I know it's going to be soon. Probably with my new release. But if you miss me, I'm always on my own channel. You can find me there. So thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any fun videos like this. And I mean the Elizabeth Crowd Designs channel, because fun things are coming. We are doing some fantastic things. I've seen some things from other designers. Oh, you're gonna love it. So thank you for joining me today. Have a fantastic day ahead of you, and love to see you for the next one. Thank you. Bye. Oh dear, I'm trying to find my button there. Couldn't find. Oh, there it is. Bye.